DBJ doing Dungeon Master's Guide Deep Cuts yet again. I'm finding a lot of stuff in this book. Even as I do a video, I'm thinking of something else that I've seen in this book. But this one, and this is I'm kind of focusing on a large part of this entire chapter, and this is chapter 6, Between Adventures. And this is not so much focusing on the specifics of this chapter starting on page 125, but it's about downtime activities, studying spells, things of that nature, maintenance costs, tracking time, running a business. They even have a section on carousing. There's a table on carousing. Hey, what do I do in my downtime? I drink a lot. Okay? But what I love about this, and kind of what is sparking me to think about the DMG and about downtime, is a pet peeve that I have about player characters. And that is, what I love about this chapter about downtime is that, or Between Adventures is the technical name for it, chapter 6, Between Adventures, is that in and of itself, it's nothing but a method of creating adventure out of characters not adventuring. So there's information on here about finding and sowing rumors. So if you wanted to run a political campaign, but your characters are more, dungeon crawly and more heavily into the combat, in between the games, they could make it back to the town and sow rumors or find rumors about the political goings on, and then go back to the dungeon crawl and have things change every time they return to their home base. But the other thing that I love about it is it points out something, and that is that too often player characters will create characters that don't have a life when they're not adventuring. All right? So, in other words, you have, Dark Cloud Deathstalker who loves to grunt, pulls his dark cloak around himself, sits in the bar, and is his whole character is mysterious. And when people ask him about his background, he just grunts. And he pulls his dark blade covered in poison and casts shadows about himself because he's a dark mage / dark elf necromancer or something. And just every time someone approaches him about, hey, you want to get something to eat? You want to go to a party? Do you want to maybe bake cookies for the homeless? That's the only response. Okay, so do you clock in and spend 8 hours in bars, grunting to yourself, sitting in a corner in darkness wrapped around yourself? What does your character do when they're not adventuring? Are they a farmer, carpenter, singer, carouser, homeless, a noble trying to find their way back, maybe they like to whittle. Maybe they like to dance and play with the same or opposite sex. Maybe they like to, engage in a romance, and while doing that, maybe they're trying to get some information. Maybe they like to read a book, sit under a tree, go hunting, fishing. Maybe they teach. Maybe they want to go to school. Maybe these characters have a life that when they are not carrying their sword and shield, they are not swinging through the rafters, they are not summoning down lightning bolts from above, they are doing something that is not adventuring. And that is what makes a great character. And this chapter creates many ideas that actually spark adventure when the characters are not adventuring. You can create great adventure on doing something as simple as helping your mage friend look for material components in the city. Maybe they're given some information going, well, you know what? You can't find the tears of a dragon in the city, but I can sure point you to a place. I've got a map. We can go talk about it in the tavern. You know, those kind of things. So I love that, and I'm segueing over into creating player characters. When you create a player character, give them a life outside of adventuring. They were something. They are something else. Maybe they have goals to do something. The downside to creating a character that has a life is that they become non-adventurers. It's like, oh, I just want to open up a business and I have no reason to want to adventure, which, again, that's a pain in the ass to a game master. It's like, hey, I've got a great adventure. You've got to get on a ship and go to this hidden island. And the player character's like, well, who's going to watch my business? I wouldn't leave my business. And you're just sitting here like, oh, thanks, Derailer. You are purposefully trying to piss me off and all the other player characters. Well, that's what my character would do. No, that's what you did, a-hole. You just decided to make a character who wanted to run a business without, let's say, talking with the rest of the party. Because we can make some great adventures about you owning a business and the rest of us being employees there and trying to support it and fighting off the Thieves Guild, and the nobles know that rumors are passing through your business, and that you can create some great ideas. But hey, let's talk about it first. Let's come up with some great ideas, and this DMG is creating just that. So don't destroy the table. Don't be Darky McDarkblade sitting in the corner just grunting all night long. Come out of your shell. Be a real person, if in the reality of the world. Be a real elf or a real dwarf or a real halfling and engage in the world. You don't have to be social, but be a real thinking character that does something other than I'm out.